The grieving process is important because it's a cleansing of your heart and soul, and you remember a deep part of yourself that you're blind to on a day-to-day basis. In grieving, you remember just being in the present moment, breathing, a sunset. You kind of get this claustrophobic feeling. That's what I get when I get a heartbreak. You don't want to sit still for too long. I'm moving all the time. I just want to be outside. I want to go long distances, be away from everything. And it's like it sparks a deep love in you that you remember exists in another person. You see this precious love in another person, God expressed through another person, and you're like, oh man, how did I forget that existed for a while? I forgot that was the reason for existence for a while. I didn't remember. Like, the only reason to exist is to breathe and to feel love and to smile and exchange this pure, intense love that transforms you, that takes you into its sphere and creates this own world that transcends time and space. And it's all that matters. So then once you touch it, it's like really painful. The come down is extremely painful and your heart's shattered. And you learn to treat people more gently. You treat yourself more gently. You treat the world differently and your actions, because you realize how painful it is to be in that close, intimate touch of deep, real love and then be pulled from it so quickly is really painful. And it also, like, it lights a spark in you. The love lights a spark in you, and I see it like helicopter blades or something, like an engine, that it sparks in you because you remember the precious part of love. And there's a motivation and a new drive to not only find that love, but to express the love in you, to take advantage of that present moment. So that love is always bringing you, this grief is bringing you back to the present moment. This grief is maybe violently, maybe painfully, maybe harshly, you are being smashed and slammed back into the present moment, whether you like it or not, because you have to feel those things in your heart. And it's like an overwhelming tidal wave, right? If you're just crying and crying and crying, you can't help it. You just do, no matter what's in front of you. So it's very important to surrender to those waves, let it wash through you, because it does transform you. And I feel that every person I ever truly loved, I never lost them in vain, because every person I truly loved transformed me at a cellular level, because that's special. That's magic, to find that love for however long a time and transform, like to bring those new energies in. But you do question yourself a lot, because you get stretched beyond comprehension. You get stretched beyond anything you could previously imagine. And in growth, you don't have those benchmarks anymore. You're like, oh, well, I'm so far gone from what used to be comfortable and familiar. All I have is myself, all I have is God. Now I have new tools. I have an expanded surface area of the heart, expanded love, expanded consciousness. And, maybe you moved across the country, you don't have family around, or you don't have those old benchmarks of safety. And you're just like, oh, where am I going? Where am I getting split open to again? Smashed open to? Just God, just more God. Just smashed open into nothing. Just dissolve into nothing again. More God, more God. human constructs and characters and personalities, whatever. No, it's just more God, and it's really an obsession. It's an obsession with spiritual soul evolution. And sometimes you're like, why the hell am I even doing this? Why am I doing this? Is there a king of the castle? Am I going to win a game at some point? Because I'm very motivated, and people on that path are very motivated for love, evolution and growth and this and that. And you're just like, well, what the hell is the point if I don't have someone to do it with? What the hell's the point if I don't have love around me, a family, my own family, whatever? So you just really are remembering at the core of your heart that you need to have that conversation with yourself. You need to have that real, like, reorienting and seeing what's really important. And you're like, oh, I got all this love in me. I got to give it out. I got to share it. I got to connect, because that's all that matters. And I was on autopilot, and I got to spread that love that was birthed in me. And I got to like get this engine going, because I hate holding it in, and it sucks to be lonely, but you could be lonely and be on autopilot because you're just a zombie, and you're just walking through life, whatever, detached, and then your heart opens, and then it cracks open again, throughout your life many times, however, and you just remember again. You're like, oh, I gotta get going. Oh yeah, love matters. All this other nonsense doesn't matter at all. All these other distractions, What matters is being present with your heart and the pain in your heart, and that's the most scary thing in the world. It can be. Sitting with yourself, and you don't have that person that you loved, and you're just grieving and crying, and you got to be there for yourself. And that's when God and love comes in. That's when the everythingness comes in. And you just trust. You let that love flow in, and you're not supposed to have the answers, okay? You can be angry, pissed off, screw this, I hate this world, whatever. But just keep being present with your heart when you can, okay? Run away a little bit, come back, okay? And just trust and have faith. And don't make it that, okay, it's not, oh, there needs to be a happy ending, there needs to be this, there needs to be that. The gift of life is, okay, maybe there's tons of pain, heartbreak, whatever, but at least it's real. At least it's real. Like you're present with that heartbreak and that pain, and you get ripped down to the core of something raw and real that's not sterilized and fake and living through a TV character on a screen, vicariously through a hero or a villain or a media story that's just nonsense, or a video game. You're in the game. You're in the game. And no matter the dysfunction, no matter the psychological breakdown of this, that, abuse, narcissism, whatever, you're in the game, and you gave your heart to something and it got shattered and broken. So you should applaud yourself for that, because you're actually learning real lessons, and you had the courage to get in the game. A lot of people don't even have the courage to open their heart and get in the game. That's how you learn real lessons. So never be ashamed, and never go too deep into that hole for too long where you shame yourself or beat the shit out of yourself internally. Okay, you might for a while, but then you got to learn to turn that voice of self-abuse around, okay? And remember to just breathe. I love this breeze. I love this breath. I love this sunset. It's so beautiful. And nothing else matters. Nothing else will ever matter. I'll never have anything but this present moment. So, just be present. I won't say be positive or be happy. Be present. Being present is the most glorious gift of life. Present with your heart. And sometimes it's painful when we forget it for a while. And there's just a lot of stuff in there you got to remember. But being in touch with your heart, it's like you remember all these things that you can't really put into words, because it's just love inside there, the true core truth of reality. And that's your only real guide. Everything else is a lie. Everything else is an illusion. Every thought, every word, anything, because it can't be explained by words. That's your inner knowing, your inner truth. Thanks.